I cannot. The Atlanta Falcons.
Oh my God.
Let's start right there. I thought about you and for Champ and BRF, just in case if y'all need something to help you through the night. You know, there you go. There you go, right there. We got some Di Serrano right here. I'm about to have me a whole bottle for the rest of the weekend. I could have bought that 52.99 bottle, but shit, it cost too much money, so I had to get me the one for 28.99. Instead of drafting the player that Champ has recommended, you wanted Dallas Turner. They didn't go with that. They could have went with a wide receiver, something that Atlanta is synonymous for. They didn't go with that. They ended up going with Michael Penix Jr. Very talented quarterback. Had an excellent season last year. Was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Helped the Washington Huskies get to the national championship. But you paid Kirk Cousins 4 years, $180 million. Champ, correct me if I'm wrong. $180 million,
100
and
million guaranteed.
my thing is, Kirk Cousins is being reported he's disappointed or frustrated because the Falcons didn't let him know that they were going to draft a quarterback. Is that true?
No, he was. Yeah. Oh, well, I'll let you go.
They told him they told him we're looking at Michael Penix. They didn't think they were going to take. He didn't think they were going to take him at 8, but they did tell him that they were looking at Michael Penix Jr. He didn't think
Oh,
they were
okay.
going to take him at 8. He
All right.
didn't think. He didn't think. Yeah, he didn't
I
think they were going to
apologize.
take him at.
And apparently, reports are they called him right when they made the pick. After they made the pick and called Penix, they said, "Hey, we're taking Michael Penix with this pick." And Kirk apparently in his camp was shocked because they didn't think they were actually going to do it. So
Right. That's the report. They didn't think they were going to take him at 8, but they knew they were. They knew that they were. He knew they were talking to him.
I'm gonna let BRF or Champ go first.
I'll let
What's
Champ. I'll
going
let
on
Champ
today,
go first.
I'm gonna
I'll let Champ go because I want to hear him.
Champ. The floor is yours, my brother.
Man, oh man, oh man. Atlanta, man. Look here, man. I understand the logic of taking a quarterback because you don't know how healthy that Kirk Cousins is going to be coming off that ACL, coming off that that Achilles injury. You don't know if he's going to be ready at the beginning of the season, although you see him kissing babies and throwing baseballs at the Atlanta Braves games. I understand that. But I believe someone in that organization panicked because you started hearing rumors about the Raiders trying to trade up in order to take Michael Penix Jr. You heard about a lot of other teams trying to trade up in order to get him. And I understand taking an heir apparent to a quarterback, but you could have gotten Spencer Rattler in the second or the third round. You need a pass rusher. You need cornerstones on that defense to go along with this offense to make it a more complete team. And for you to take Michael Penix Jr. at number 8, it doesn't make sense for what you're trying to do right now. Now, the silver lining of that is in 2 years, there's no guarantee that Kirk Cousins is going to be there because his whole contract is front motor. But at the same time, I believe someone in that organization panicked. And my thing is, you could have got Spencer Rattler in the second round. There was team willing to give you the world, move heaven and earth in order to get Michael Penix Jr. So there's no telling what you could have gotten in return for him. And still, because Dallas Turner went at 17 with the Minnesota Vikings. He went at 17 with the Minnesota Vikings. And that was after they traded up to number 11 in order to get, and that's after they traded up to number 10 or number 11 spot in order to get Jimmy McCarthy. So they still got their man. So my thing is, someone in that organization panicked. I understand about getting a quarterback, but you don't take a Michael Penix Jr. And if you really want to be honest with you, hell, you don't know how healthy Michael Penix Jr. is going to be over the course of his career. You really have a whole lot of, for lack of a better term, a whole lot of injury-riddled quarterbacks in your quarterback room because you don't know how durable Kirk Cousins is going to be, and you sure as you know what, don't know how durable Michael Penix Jr. is going to be. Now, you can say, well, he could throw the deep ball, he can hit the rock. You don't know how healthy he's going to be. You don't know how healthy this entire quarterback room is going to be. Both of them have severe history of injury. Michael Penix with his shoulder, 2 ACL surgeries, Kirk Cousins with his Achilles. So you essentially have 2 injury-riddled quarterbacks at this point in time. And for Terry Fontenot to say if he sits for 4 or 5 years, that's a good problem to have. Hell, by the time he gets on the field, if he sits for 5 years, he'd be damn near 30. So the thing is, you should have taken something that was going to put us in a position to not only win now, but potentially reach a Super Bowl. Rome was there at number 8. You had Dallas Turner there at number 8. You had offensive lineman there at number 8. Olu Fashanu didn't go until later on. You could have literally put us over the top in the first round by drafting or trading down. But instead, as you've been known to do, Atlanta, you blew it. Just like you blew it with Todd Gurley when you chose to draft Vic Beasley over Todd Gurley. Just like when you chose to draft Tank over J.J. Watts' brother, T.J. Watts, who was a preeminent defensive player of the year at this moment in time, excuse me. And you also blew it big time, huge big time, when you drafted Michael Jenkins over Carlos Dansby, when you knew Keith Brookins was going into the end of his career. How many times can you blow a draft and pick the wrong players before you start realizing it's not about picking the best players on the board at that time? You have to draft for need at a certain point. We have not made the playoffs since 2017, the year after 28-3. Ironically, we have not made the playoffs since the year after that year. So it's been almost almost a full decade since we made the playoffs. And for you to do something like that is flat out atrocious, especially considering the injury history of Michael Penix Jr. and the quarterback that you have. So you could potentially be going into the season if Kirk Cousins is not fully healthy by the time you get to the regular season. If Michael Penix has another bad injury there, that's another wasted pick. So you essentially have the hospital room when it comes to your quarterback room, all because you panicked. And when you have to explain to your owner of the team why you took a guy like a Michael Penix Jr. with the number 8 pick, when you had offers on the table and Dallas Turner there, it's flat out atrocious. Atlanta, that is the reason why we're losing Super Bowls, losing playoff games, and not even making the playoff game because you are making futile decisions like this. And as I rest at this point, I just want to say, rise up, but this draft is straight up throw up thus far.
Woo. Undisputed world champ with his take. But we got another Atlanta Falcons fan, BRF Sports. BRF, the floor is yours.
Well, for starters, I'll dispute one thing you said, champ. If you think for 1 second Arthur Blank wasn't on board with this draft pick, and if a lot of media really thinks that, they're crazy. The only way Terry Fontenot's drafted Michael Penix Jr. is if Arthur Blank was on board with this. So I'll get that out the way. But I completely understand why people are upset with the pick. And honestly, I think the only reason why people are so upset with the pick are the circumstances with giving Kirk Cousins all that money. And trust me when I say I completely understand. But I also understand the Falcons' logic from the standpoint of I was explaining this to PSP before I left the podcast for a little bit. I was explaining this to him, and that was when Raheem Morris interviewed for the job back in 2021. He asked about, are we going to have a succession plan for Matt Ryan, because you need to plan, for his impending basic, retirement. He's not going to be playing at a high level that much longer. They went with Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith had no plan after Matt Ryan. So Raheem Morris comes in. He comes in. Okay, they get Kirk Cousins. I understand the logic, because you don't want to go through 2022 and 2023 again. So I completely understand. I mean, you basically had mediocre to horrible quarterback play both years. So I get the injury history, but you know what? Part of the NFL draft sometimes is crapshoot, and sometimes you gotta take a risk. Sometimes you just have to. And I think, as crazy as it may sound, they feel good about this quarterback room from the standpoint of, okay, you get 2 years out of Kirk Cousins. You don't know if he's going to be there after 2 years. After 2 years, there's no drop off. You got Michael Penix ready to go, if not sooner, depending on how everything goes. Now, I wanted Laiatu Latu, and apparently there's a news story that came out, reported by the great Steve Weiss. The Falcons tried to trade up to get him, and nobody was just biting. So the Falcons were trying to trade back up into the first round to get Laiatu Latu, because I think he was Champ wanted Dallas Turner. The Falcons wanted Laiatu Latu, which was kind of what he was who I wanted, and apparently that was who the Falcons wanted, but they couldn't get him. So from that standpoint, I completely understand why everybody's frustrated, but I kind of feel them from this perspective. They don't want to. They feel like with these two, they're not going to go through 2022 and 2023 again. So I completely understand their logic in thinking of this, and being in Georgia and seeing Twitter and seeing everybody just freak out and want to call for Terry Fontenot's job and I tell people, y'all want to get rid of Terry Fontenot. Who we gonna bring in? Who we bringing in? Who we bringing in immediately to take over as a general manager? Because y'all want to knock Terry Fontenot, but y'all forget he's gotten success out of Richie Grant. He's gotten success out of Matt Bergeron. He's gotten success out of a lot of guys that he drafted. Second, third, fourth, fifth round. He's been able to find gems. I've been looking at the draft. I know people are getting mad about the Ora Horo pick at 35. That one kind of shocked me, because I was thinking they were about to go with someone like with Newton or Kool-Aid. I thought they were going to go with one of them. Now, pick 74, I think they got right. They got Braylon Trice out of Washington. They got that one right because they needed a pass rusher, and they did get that one right, in my opinion. I'm not doom and gloom like everybody is with the Michael Penix pick. I want to let it cook. I want to let it play out. I want to see where it goes. I'm not all doom and gloom like everybody else is, because I guess some of it might be okay. It's the Falcons, so you have to expect the unexpected. But at the same time, I also feel like, I don't know. I'm more of the fan that, okay, it happened. All right, let it cook. Let's see where it goes. Let it play out. Because where everybody's on the negative, on the downside, well, what if he gets hurt? Well, what if he doesn't? What if you get 2 ridiculous years out of Kirk Cousins, and then you transition over to Michael Penix, and he comes and he's healthy and he balls out? So we can't always look at it from the doom and gloom side. You have to look at it from the positive perspective. I choose to take the positive perspective about this from the standpoint of I had to watch 2022 and 2023, and damn it, I'm tired of them with a horrible, sorry quarterback room. This is still at least on paper better than what we've had easily the last 2 years. And even though that ain't the highest bar, it's a bar, and that's something they can build off of. And we'll just see where it goes. I'm not all doom and gloom like a lot of other Falcon fans are, and because I don't take a lot of Falcons fans serious anyway, because a lot of them don't know what the hell they talk about. So I'm like, I'm not as doom and gloom as a lot of them are as far as the draft. I probably wouldn't have gone with Michael Penix. I would have gone with Leatu Latu, but I get the logic. I completely get the logic. And that's it for me.
All right. Grant, what were your thoughts about the Michael Penix draft?
Normally, as a Saints fan, I'd be like, "Oh, haha, y'all suck, very funny." But I'm just, I just want to I'm not the type of guy to be like this. But some situations require drastic measures. I just want to go and find the dude who woke up that morning.
You got your USC gloves on
and decided who thought that was smart. Okay, because this is the reason why. Why would you sign Kirk Cousins if the plan was to have Michael Penix? I got 24 hours to thinking about it, and I now look at it as this. They're probably having him as a preparedness because we don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to be after that injury. If he stays 100%, then you're going to have Michael Penix. At least you have something. But with your 9th pick?
8th.
Really? I've seen stupid moves, but I'm not trying to but it's why? You could have Rome was right there. You give Kirk Rome with Drake London, bro, it would have been great, but you let it go for Michael Penix. I will never understand it. Man. I will never understand it.
Before I let him speak, shout out to my man Dev. Go check him out on Player's Choice on PC Gridiron and stuff like that. Does a great job as always. Dev, man, since you are an Atlanta fan yourself, explain the Falcons drafting Michael Penix Jr.
I think this is one of the best moves in the draft. Legitimately. I think we drafted the second best quarterback in the draft class. I can't keep a straight face. I'm sorry. I'm trolling. Hey, Grant, come back, Grant. Hey, come back, Grant. Hold on, I'm waiting for Grant to come back. I'm trolling. Hey, Grant, can you hear me? I'm trolling, Grant. I'm trolling.
All right.
I'm trolling.
What's going on, man? Talk to me about this.
Trolling.
The thing that doesn't make sense. All right, there's multiple. I have so many scenarios. All right. This is the biggest surprise within the last 3 years, in my opinion. The biggest surprise, because here's my thing: if we're going to go quarterback anyway, if y'all love Michael Penix that much, why pay Kirk $100 million? Why not draft why not sign Gardner Mitchell for $1 million, have him play for 3 games, then let what's the name Penix play? If you wanted Penix so badly, sign a quarterback for $1 million or something like that. We seen the Colts almost with the playoffs. Minshew, we could have signed Minshew, let him rock. Do I have an echo?
No, you're good, man.
No, you good.
Let him rock and do that. And then I'll be fine. The Penix pick is the fact that we paid Kirk that much money, and the thing that doesn't make sense. We could have drafted Lot 2. We could have drafted a defense player and traded back up to get Michael Penix because no one was going to get Penix. The only team that probably would have got Penix is the Rams. Not the Rams, the Raiders. That's the only team, in my opinion, that would have got Michael Penix. It's just a big reach. I don't understand what Terry this. Anything I like Terry Fontenot, but him taking Bijan Robinson, I understand that's a generational player at the position. Kyle Pitts, generational player at the position, makes sense for players because of context. But this one doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make sense because regardless of the position of need, you could have traded back. If the Falcons want to trade back in the first round and get Latu, no, you could have one thing we could have drafted, then traded back up to get Michael Penix. We don't like him so much, or traded the pick down, then get another extra. I would have been, or you could have just hit up Minnesota. Hey, this team's thinking about Jake and James McCarthy. Give us those 2 first rounders this year give us the 11-23, and then you could have got a defense player, then Michael Penix, or Penix and a defense player because we saw all the defensive player drop. We could have got Quinion Mitchell, corner. We could have got at least a good defense player. If we would have did that, then that's a good move because we got Michael Penix for cheaper at 11 pick, and for 23 we could have got a good defensive player. And then I was like, okay, that makes sense. But still, he's 24. I understand you like him, and his thing. No, there's no disrespect to Michael Penix because I think everybody thinks he's a good player, and that's what everybody's saying. He's a good player. He's not a bad quarterback. It's just that his age, he needs to start right now. He's not a quarterback, in my opinion, who needs to sit on the bench. He already has the experience in college. He already has all that. He's ready to play right now, in my opinion. But he's gonna be 28 when he started 345 years. Waiting what? We have to listen. We can't be mediocre this year. Like if we win 9 games, he's getting fired. The GM's getting fired, in my opinion. If we win 9 games, we have to at least win 10 or 11. We have to win a division. That's the only thing that's going to make up for this pick, in my opinion. We have to win the division. We have to win at least double-digit games this year. We can't have another mediocre season. Because that's the only thing that can solve this. Winning will make you forget your dumb decisions. Winning. If we lose,
bro, this is the NFC South. But you win 9 games, you're gonna win that division. This is the NFC South.
That is true.
You saw that with Tampa last year, and you saw it with a certain quarterback from
Tampa Bay won the division the year before, 8-9.
What school did he go?
You know what I'm saying?
Here's my last point, Cham. Here's my last point. I'm a Clemson fan. I love Ruku Orokoro. We reach. We reach. I love him. But we reach. We could have drafted Kool-Aid. We could have drafted A.D. Mitchell. We could have drafted.
And he on my team. Let's go. We got Kool-Aid McKinstry and the tackle. Yeah. Thank you, Jesus.
It's just.
I think we wanted him to go along with Grady Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. But my thing is, who wanted Penix? Either probably someone's wanted Penix. I just don't get Terry find those reason for that. Like for him at 8. Like,
all right, I got a lot to say. I'm afraid 2 things. I got to be honest with you. I threw up after the Atlanta Falcons drafted Michael Penix Jr. I ain't gonna lie, I threw up. And I kept thinking about Champ last night. What was Champ's going through his mind? Because Champ's been through a lot of shit. I mean, he had to go through C.J. Stroud in the national championship playoffs. I mean, to the point in which he had 3 heart attacks in that game. He had to go through Desmond Ridder last year. He kept saying Desmond Ridder could not pass gas even if you fed him refried beans. This is equivalent to Atlanta losing to Carolina at Carolina. This has got to be. I don't understand this move whatsoever, y'all. You could have gotten a quarterback in the 2nd or the 3rd round. You're paying Kirk Cousins $180 million, $100 million guaranteed for 4 years. But you bring in Michael Penix Jr., who's had durability issues as well, and you draft him with the 8th overall pick. What are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to win now or the future? Because it doesn't seem like Michael Penix Jr., I don't know about the future. Not again, I don't wish bad or ill will upon anyone, but given his durability history, it is a concern. And on top of that, if you're looking to win now, you need to go with immediate players who can contribute right away. You could have gotten Latu out of UCLA. I believe he's now with the Indianapolis Colts. And by the way, the Indianapolis Colts have done a very good job.
They're gonna be a problem
because again, assuming if Anthony Richardson is healthy with Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Mitchell, and now with Latu, this is actually going to be very competitive. What's up, champ?
Blake Corum just went to the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh
wow!
John Harbaugh mad now. I know he mad.
Oh, that's
oh my God!
Actually, you know what's crazy? That's actually nice. So Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, that's nice. I like that.
I know Kyron Williams, Blake Corum backfield. My Lord.
Champ. Not just the Chargers. Dallas Cowboys are pissed as hell because they have no running back.
No, they signed Zeke. Zeke coming back.
So I think Zeke coming back.
So they got
you might well just sign me to that damn contract. What the hell?
Hey,
That's what I said.
hey, Sports PSP. You know, there's also this one report I saw. They said about the Kirk Cousins thing. They said that was more the owner's decision because if you know about Kirk Cousins, his wife is friends with Kurt Warner, and Kurt Warner has lineage to the Falcons and all that. So that like let's say apparently I guess Terry and Raheem Morris didn't not say they didn't want Kirk, but that's more of the owner's decision. This was Terry and Raheem Morris got Michael Penix apparently. If that's the scenario, then I mean, it's still a bad. It still doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's still a terrible move because you could have gotten a quarterback. You to Champ's point, you could have gotten Rattler. You could have gotten somebody else. But the thing is, if you're looking for immediate plays, you could have went with Turner. You could have went with Latu.
Yeah.
You could have went with Rome. You could have went with somebody else. But you pick Michael Penix Jr., but you talk about future, and he has durability issues himself. What the hell makes you think you're going to have a future? Shit, you better have Champ there at quarterback.
And the thing is, what makes it worse, like, I understand that. I do understand them kind of mindset because next year quarterback class is weak. And the year before that, we don't know how it's going to be. And we're not going to be bad enough to get Shador or Quinn Ewers. Because I understand that. Because, like, if you don't want to draft quarterback next year, I understand. Because it's weaker. And, like, 2026, if not, I don't know. We should have, if you sign Kirk Cousins, right, trade for Justin Fields or trade for Trey Lance. I would have been, listen, Champ, if we would have traded for Trey Lance.
He wanted Russell Wilson.
Or do that, or like do Champ idea. If we had Russell Wilson for a year and then we draft Michael Penix, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine.
My thing is this. You had an opportunity to get Russell Wilson for dirt cheap. I mean, you only had to pay him $2 million. So that frees up a hell of a lot of stuff that you could have did, not only in the draft, but also in free agency this year. Mm-hmm. We needed a pass rusher. You mean to tell me that you couldn't have went out and got Danielle Hunter, which you just let go to the Houston Texans? Now he's paired up with Willie Anderson, and now he's going to wreak havoc? So my thing is with Atlanta, man, it's like you're trying to do exactly what Rankin Smith used to do, man.
They don't have a plan.
You know who Rankin Smith is. It's like you're trying to pick players and look up on a championship.
It's like I think they don't have a plan.
And do what you need to do in order to get where you need to be.
Like they keep going to the character. Like I want a character, great character. Screw the character. Some of the best players be, what I mean. Like Randy Moss is all-time great. People question his character, but guess what? He won them games. Marvin Harrison character issues, quote unquote. He gonna win games. Caleb Williams, he gonna win some games. Listen, I understand character means a lot, but listen, like I don't know, like I feel like teams fall too in love, like in reaching these players. Like you gotta understand, like you might like the player, but you gotta also when you do a draft, it's not about like obviously get the guy you want, but it's also about getting the guy you want and seeing like how badly other teams want that player too, so you can get him at a better price. Like I know other teams wanted Michael Penix, but not at number 8 or not top 10. I promise you, Minnesota wasn't going to take Michael Penix at 11.
And even if they did, you could have traded him and still gotten a litany of picks. You could at least got 2 firsts and a second, or 2 first or a second. Or at least a multitude of picks so you can keep rebuilding the team.
I was so delusional. I thought like you know how like you draft a player like, oh, I thought we were gonna trade him. I thought like how like you draft a player for someone. Like I thought we was doing that. I was like, oh, we're gonna trade him.
The only time that ever happened is with Ernie Accorsi and Phillip Rivers. And they had that. And really, although Eli won 2 Super Bowls, neither team lost that trade because two of them are all-time greats and Hall of Fame. So, yeah, that's the only time you're ever going to see something like that happen. And even then, the San Diego Chargers were smart enough to get Roman Oben, who helped sustain that offensive line for at least the next 3 years. And they got a first-round pick in the form of Son Marino.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's how you're supposed to draft. Not sitting around here trying to – you have the capability in order to at least go to an NFC championship this year with some of the talent that you have on this team, with the backs that you have, the receivers that you have, with
I lie. The
a
way the
lot of
Eagles
that
looking,
offensive line.
we.
Yeah.
And you need a defense, and you didn't draft it.
And you know what's crazy? And look at the Eagles. Howie Roseman. This is why he's the best GM in the league, in my opinion, or top 5 at least, or top 3 at least. He
Yeah,
got
because he's
the best-
aggressive. He takes
two top 5
chances.
corners. He got Quentin Wentz, the best man-to-man corner, and then Cooper DeJean. He fixed that secondary like that. He like that's the thing. That's what a GM do. You see the problem and you fix it.
But Dev, here's the thing: he takes chances and is unafraid to take those types of chances, and so
Yeah.
far it's paid off.
We're
When
taking the
you
wrong chances.
You're taking the wrong chances, and look what's happened to you. But look, man, this better work out for Atlanta. According to Michael Penix Jr., he and Kirk Cousins, they're having some good conversations.
Yeah, I like.
Of course, no, Kirk Cousins is gonna have to do and say all the right things. If you are Kirk Cousins, you're gonna have to perform, but at the same time, you're gonna have to mentor this young kid because this is the guy that he's going to be the successor to you. All I'm gonna say is, go ahead, Jeff.
The thing is, like, Kirk Cousins knew. I think Kirk Cousins knew like they were going to drive a quarterback like later on though, so he's fine mentoring. Not this early though.
But this early, he could expect a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round, somewhere around that ballpark. But in the top 10, maybe he wasn't expecting that.
We could have just drafted Jackson Dart next year.
All right.